It's just probiotics. Now, I understand what you used to think, but because the world of SIBO evolves and changes so quickly, I'm just wondering what your current thinking is about the use of probiotics alongside SIBO, after a SIBO treatment, beforehand, everything. Although, obviously,
Okay.
I don't want to keep you here that much longer.
Okay, no problem. I don't think my thinking has drastically changed. I'm always looking at this question. It's such an important question. And just briefly, one of the things I put my attention to recently is to help organize a SIBO summit, and like one of those free online health summits. And I wasn't the lead on it, but I've been helping quite a bit. And that'll be happening June 24th and the week after that. But I was very interested to hear what all of the speakers had to say about probiotics, and there really are some very different approaches. And when I hear a lot of, experienced people with different approaches, that always makes me open my mind, and I relook at what I think. So I'm kind of like always rethinking about it. But here's what I think. I think that I like to take each case individually. I'm not a person who says any one thing about probiotics and SIBO. I don't think everyone should take them with SIBO. I don't think everyone shouldn't take them with SIBO. I don't think everyone should take them, as an enema and shouldn't, because some people think that. I don't think that. I don't think any one thing. I customize it to each individual. So that's the main thing I can say about probiotics. There are a lot of people who are very aggravated by probiotics who have SIBO. Sometimes this is due to other conditions like histamine intolerance and things like that. Sometimes it's because there were prebiotics in it, in the probiotic. Sometimes it's not. Probiotics they make acids that then other bacteria, the overgrown SIBO bacteria, can then turn into gas. So through a process of cross-feeding, probiotics can worsen gas, and that can worsen all the symptoms. When people are aggravated, what I'll particularly see is their bloating gets worse. Sometimes at the same time, when their bloating gets worse, their bowel movements get better. So the probiotic might correct constipation or diarrhea at the same time that it worsens bloating. And then we have to pick, well, what do we care more about? It's very frustrating. We see that same thing with fiber if we do try some fiber. So what I do is I try and figure out, have probiotics bothered you in the past, and take a look at which probiotics they've tried. And then I go forward from there. If they've really bothered a person every single time, no matter what, they've tried them 25 times, I don't go there. It's like we don't need to do that. And if they've been really helped, we use them. If they're not so sure, we try them. Where I'm most hesitant in trying probiotics is once they're better. And the reason why is because when I get someone better, so now and what I consider that is 90% symptom relief and or a negative test. There's some things we could talk about with that. But anyway, I'm caring here about the symptoms. So let's say they're really feeling better and they have a negative test. Often, when I now have added something to the mix, and I mean, I've already done all the stuff I do for prevention, so prokinetics and stuff like that. But now, if I'm thinking of adding something in the mix, usually I trigger them and aggravate them and throw them off the good path that they're on. Yeah. I don't like to rock the boat. I just had too many negative experiences. So I don't want to use theory. Oh, we've done antimicrobials, now we should go in with probiotics. I don't want to use that theory. If they're really doing great, why should I do anything? They're doing great.
Yeah.
I've just had a lot of trouble with that. So the way I would recommend avoiding that is test probiotics beforehand. Now, maybe they'll react to them because they have the SIBO, but still, give it a go when they have the SIBO, when you're doing treatment. Because if you're doing antimicrobial treatment, it doesn't really matter if if you have any kind of concern that you're giving more bacteria as a probiotic. So give it a go and see what happens, just so you have a marker, and then you can decide whether you want to do it after or not. Now, this is just my experience, and there are a lot of other people that feel quite differently. If you listen to the summit, you'll hear that a lot of the people really believe in doing probiotics after. I just have a tricky patient population that I see, and I've learned to be cautious. So, but one last thing I want to say is that there are people where we kind of have to use them. Like they have a history of yeast and, we're giving them antibiotics or something like that. Or we're concerned about C. diff and we want to prevent C. diff. So I'm not going to say I'm never going to use them. I'm going to just be a clinician with all my tools available to me, and I'm going to assess each situation and decide what's right.
Fab. That is such a good, clear answer. Sorry, we got a bit of feedback again. But it's but there are so many people that are super confused over whether they should or they shouldn't. And I think, like you, I tend to do it on an individual case, but I very much err on the side of caution with the use of them. And I get some people that beg me to use them. I'm like, okay, let's give it a go. Let's see how you are. But we need a kind of level playing field in order to be able to assess whether or not it's helping or hindering. So I think it's really helpful that you're being really clear about that, so people recognise that there isn't a black and white answer. Although people will be frustrated with the greyness, unfortunately, that's the reality of what we're dealing with. We can't be absolutely sure at this time, and we hope in time research what goes on. I read a meta-analysis recently about the use of probiotics with SIBO, and it said it cannot cure, which we always knew, but it seemed generally to say that it would help with symptoms. But I think, like you, I find it helps some people and it doesn't help others. So it is a really individual, unique to, one person.
And I think what gets really frustrating is that there's a small group of people that will give probiotics to, and it is their miracle. And it's almost like their miracle cure. And it's like that was what they needed. And everything gets better. And when you see that with anything that you give, you want to try that thing with everybody. It's like you want that response. So I think most of us practitioners have seen enough of miracles from probiotics that we want to try them with people. But it's just people react differently. So you can try it, and if it doesn't work, just don't do it.
And I certainly, if I do try it with people, I go in with very small amounts, very gently and gradually. I don't go in with the great big, hundreds of billions and billions. It's like, yikes. No, let's just start with a pinch and see how you get on. And just kind of very gently myself. That's what I do. So.
Oh, and one other thing. When I said I don't do them after, that's only for a period. I don't want to rock the boat for a period of time. So maybe 3 to 6 months. I want to observe and see what stabilizes and shakes out. And then after that, because most of us know that fermented foods, probiotics coming in our diet as food or as supplements are an important and healthy way to live. So I'm very interested in people doing that. I'm more interested in them bringing in fermented food first, even before supplements, because that's so natural and a part of normal human behavior. But so I just wanted to make that clear that it's not, I may not do that forever. There's a period at which I want to be careful and observe.
Straight after treatment, it's like, ooh, just be careful.
Right. Let me just see if this holds.
See what's happening in a few weeks and a month or so. Okay, that's fantastic, Alison. Thank you so much that you've shared so much information so freely. I really appreciate it. My name is Emma Wells, and I'm a nutritional therapist with over 15 years experience specialising in digestive disorders and digestive testing. I'm currently studying functional medicine, having completed my digestive module last year, and I am the founder of Smart Nutrition, SmartSiboTest and IBS and SIBO clinics.